the video, we're going to learn how to adjust a graphing window using the menus. Now, with the TI Nspire CX, there are principally two ways to do it. One is with menus, and that'll be the way that is most familiar if you've used a TI 83 or 84 before. And the other way is by dynamically changing things on the screen. We'll learn how to do that in a separate video. So let's go ahead and graph a parabola really quickly. So Control G to get the entry line, and let's put in x squared minus 10 and go ahead and enter to graph it. And as you can see, the bottom of our graph is not there, and we'd like to adjust our window so that we can see it. Now, in order to do that, one way is to, again, select Menu, go to Window Zoom, and pick Window Settings. That will bring up a menu, and it'll ask you for the dimensions of your window, the scale, so that you get the picture that you want. This is the one if I'm going to use a menu, this is the one I'm going to use. So the xmin, xmax is setting up the domain of your function. The xscale is the width of the tick marks on your x-axis. The ymin, ymax is the range of your graph. And the y-scale is the tick marks on the y-scale. They're set to auto, so you can leave it that way, or if you have a specific size that you'd like to have the X scale, you can. So looking at our window, the Xmin and Xmax were fine, our scale was fine. Where we have problems with is with the Ymin. And so I'm going to delete the Y minimum, and I'm going to put in a -12. And then Ymax is fine, and if I hit OK, now the graph is in the correct place. Now let's look at some of the other menu choices. So first of all, I'm going to adjust our graph, and let's make it, rather than subtract 10, let's make it add 20, let's say. Hit enter. Okay, we don't see a graph. So normally when you start, one place to start looking is Zoom Standard. And Zoom Standard, if I click that, gives us a 6x6, -10 by +10 window. Of course, we're not going to see it because we saw the graph previously. Now, one way of trying to find the graph is if we go Zoom Out. If we select Zoom Out, and then it asks where do you want the center, let's have it at the origin, and if I click, we don't see it yet. If I click again, and the third time, we start to see the graph. And it changes the scale for us, and we found our graph. Okay, let's go back to a new graph. So I'm going to Control G, and let's put in let's just do a subtract 1. And let's say we wanted to see what's going on here. Another way of doing that is Menu, Window Zoom, and now we can zoom in and do exactly the opposite of what we've just done, but I'm going to use Zoom Box. Now Zoom Box lets you pick a first corner, so we're going to click on that and then use the track to find the lower right hand corner, And if I hit that, then it zooms to that picture. And you can see that it has a little icon up there. So if I wanted to continue to do another zoom, I could do it again and zoom in again. And if I wanted to do it one more time, I could do it again, and I could get the picture I want using Zoom Box. I'm going to hit the escape key to take the box off. Now let's go to Menu, Window Zoom, and select Zoom Standard again, and that's going to put it back excuse me, in a standard window. You have some other choices. You can play around with them if you'd like. There's Zoom Quadrant 1, which will only, of course, put the graph in Quadrant 1. So here's Quadrant 1 right here. You also can select Window Zoom, okay, Zoom Fit, and then have the calculator choose what your window looks like. I'm not a big proponent of Zoom Fit. The calculator sometimes has a mind of its own, and it never seems to work like what I wanted to see. So use that at your own peril there. And so let's go back to Zoom Standard. Again, if you just play with these, you'll get pretty good at getting the window that you want. Again, if you have any questions, see your teacher.